It's the NFL on EA Sports, and we've got a showdown in the Sunshine State. It's the Miami Dolphins and the Jacksonville Jaguars, and it comes your way next on Madden Football.
EA Sports coverage of the NFL brings us to the Sunshine State in TIAA Bank Field here in Jacksonville. Today we've got a fun AFC matchup on tap, as it'll be the Miami Dolphins taking on the Jacksonville Jaguars. Up in the booth with Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin, and kickoff straight ahead, CD. What's one thing that you're going to have your eye on?
I think about what the great coaches of the past always said. The key to any ball game. Can you rush theirs and protect yours? Well, in this case, both of these teams get after the quarterbacks. I'm watching the pass rush.
He's supposed to catch that, maybe that's how we eat.
Two teams on opposite ends of the Sunshine State. The Jags and Dolphins are underway. Braxton Berrios now from his end zone. And no alley to be found. The coverage was solid, and he's dropped at the 18. Here is Tua Tagovailoa heading out to lead this Miami offense.
Every quarterback in the NFL has a little bit of his own signature style out there, but for this guy, he really plays the game in a different way. It's led to a couple double takes from us up here as we see him as something truly unique. It's not that he's just the strongest passer or the best athlete to ever play the position. He just has a certain way of seeing the action, and it allows him to make some special plays out there.
Here's Raheem Mostert, the local product from right here in Florida. Knifes his way forward here, but just 3 yards on the play. Second down.
Yeah, I don't know if it's exactly a win-win, but if you're on offense, you'll take that kind of a run, all right? It was kind of stacked up, found a little bit of yardage, and frankly, they're pretty close to staying on schedule on offense. The playbook is still open for the coordinator.
Second down, here's Mostert again. Oh, he faked it with a juke. Now he's got some room. And he's able to get this one up to his 30 before he's out of bounds. 9 yards to pick up there, and it's a first down.
And that's a run that'll energize an offensive line. They'll take that one all day long. Fundamental breakdown by the defense. You've got to be able to make plays on the edge.
So 1st and 10 now from the 30. They'll stay on the ground with Mostert. And he'll lose yardage here, going down back at the 28. Foye Oluokun finding his way to the ball for a stop, a tackle for loss.
Part of the thinking when you bring in extra tight ends, you're hoping that each of your guys gets those one-on-one blocks and creates a crease for your runner. You know what the converse is, though? You've got to win those one-on-one blocks, and when you don't, that's the result you end up with.
Here's Tua. Throw to the right, taken in by Berrios. And he'll be out of bounds across the 30-yard line. So the completion good for just 3. And that's going to set up a tough 3rd and 9. They'll come to the line here needing 9 yards to pick up the first. Throwing is Tagovailoa on 3rd down here. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. And the Jags grab it. And he brings this one back. A fumble return for a Jacksonville score. And give some kudos to the defensive coordinator, I think, here. They bring the blitz, they dial it up, and it turns into 6 points for them.
It's so nice to hear you actually give kudos to the defense. It is so nice. You're such an offensive guy like that. I love it. He dialed things up, and boy, a big play resulted for his guys.
Well, you like the credit to the defense there, right, my friend?
Yeah, do I ever?
Riley Patterson now for the extra point. And this is up and good. The score now 7-0 Jaguars. So not only the cough up, but then the pickup on the other side, the scoop, and the score the other way. The fumble return for a touchdown. So here's the kickoff now as they'll get it again following that fumble return for a score. And makes it across the 20 as his guys will set up shop at the 23-yard line. So Miami coming out for their second drive. They'll start on the ground with Mostert. Gets past one man. It's a 6-yard gain on the ground, and that'll make it 2nd and 4.
Now, Brandon, that's the way you want to run the football. There should almost be quote bubbles above the offense right now. Bam, boom, biff. That's how they feel good about moving the football.
From the 29, here's a 2nd and 4. Once again, it's Mostert. And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. Call that a loss of a yard, and things get a little more difficult here. 3rd and 5. Plays like we just saw there. That's why they're up right now. And the defense, they're doing their job.
Yeah, it starts with the guys up front. So when you talk with GMs who are putting together a team, a lot of them say we're going to build from the inside out, because if you control the line of scrimmage, you control the rest of the ball game, and that's what we're seeing here. They're actually playing in the offense's backfield.
And the Jags get to him as down he goes. Eric Armstead with a big-time sack on 3rd down. It's a loss of 7. He found his way into the backfield, and he simply would not be denied.
Well, they say that life's all about opportunities, and that holds true when you're playing defense as well. How about him seeing that chance, making the most of it, did a great job of wrapping him up and bringing him down.
Taken from just outside the 30. 45 yards, that's what the punt goes for. 5 on the return. And the Jaguars go on offense, 1st down and 10. So out comes this offense to take over for the first time. They're led by the #1 overall pick in the 2021 draft, Trevor Lawrence.
The word is potential, potential, potential. Think about this guy from the time he was in high school, one of the top prospects going to college, coming out of college, mentioned as a generational type quarterback. He looks the part. Tall, big arm, surveys the field, and can take off and run when under duress.
Very good starting field position for the Jaguars offense as they come up 1st and 10 at their own 37. And able to give one man the slip there as he works his way forward for about 3.
Typically, we think it's the strong safeties that are better tacklers, especially closer to the line of scrimmage amidst traffic. But in this case, how about the free safety coming up and making the big-time play?
Ball on the 40 now. Here's 2nd down and 7. Running out of the gun with Etienne. And he'll be brought down just shy of the 45. And still about 3 yards shy of a first as the 4-yard pickup brings it to 3rd down.
When you find that kind of yardage, you couldn't be more confident as a ball carrier. And guess what? You're going to go back and tell your offensive coordinator, I'd like to keep carrying it, thank you.
Coming up here looking for 3 yards to pick up the first. Lawrence on 3rd down. He's got his target. That's complete. And he is going to have a Jags 1st down as they convert on 3rd and 3 with a nice gain of 7 yards.
Well, we use the term pitch and catch a lot to denote an easy completion. We just saw one right there on 3rd and 3 to pick up the 1st down.
Why are those so tough to defend? Just because they hit so quickly?
Yeah, it's all about timing and confidence. Quarterback sees it, rips it, there you go.
On 1st and 10, it's Etienne. And some solid footwork there as he'll take this down to about the 38. 10 yards there, good enough for a Jags first down.
Well, how many times do we say in this game that speed kills, and it does it in so many different ways? In this case, you got a back who's quick and shifty, can make moves, make people miss, but also gets to and through a hole before it can close down. That's some of the benefits of that speed, not just outrunning people in the secondary, and that led to a really nice game.
A throw there, but that's going to wind up incomplete.
My first thought is surprise, because that's one of the better tight ends around, and I've seen him pull in balls like this before. But how about a little credit to the defense forcing that incompletion?
So after the incompletion on first, now 2nd and 10. The tight end in motion right. On 2nd down, a run with Etienne. And a very determined run there as he'll take this all the way down to the 27. Good effort. 11 yards there for Jacksonville and a first down as well. You were telling me this yesterday. This is exactly what they want to do on the opening drive, establish the ground game.
Yeah, remember our conversation we were talking about what one of the GMs in the league has told me repeatedly. It's a big man's game, and it's not necessarily size. He's talking about playing some big boy football. Line up, get leverage, knock people back, and establish the run early.
2 yards on the carry there. It'll be 2nd down. When we talk about defenders, specifically linebackers, keeping their eyes in the right spot, he had that eye down the entire time.
And you know that's not easily done because they throw a lot of misdirection at you. They try and fool you and get your eyes in the wrong place. But you're right about that one. He correctly figured that one out and made a really nice play.
Now a 2nd down throw for the end zone, but it's incomplete.
Quick hands that time to knock that one away. It sure looked like a short touchdown, but able to get a good break on the football and force the incompletion.
Out of the huddle now for play number 9 on this drive. This is 3rd down and 8. Now Lawrence. He's got his running back out of the backfield. Touchdown Jaguars. Travis Etienne, 25 yards for the touchdown. And the Jaguars go up by 2 touchdowns. Early on, they have all facets of the game working in tandem.
Yeah, you get the defensive touchdown early to give you the first score, and then your offense piggybacks on top of that and gets their own. And any coach we've ever talked to, and we've had that conversation with them prior to the game, they always say, you know, if we can score on defense or special teams, that gives us like a 95% chance of winning the game. I don't know if that number's correct, but it certainly does tend to play out that way, doesn't it?
It does. Extra point by Patterson, up and good. And it's now 14-0. After the touchdown, Cook now to kick this one away. This taken in at the goal line. And only able to get this to the 19, so probably should have opted for the touchback. Out comes the Miami offensive unit now. They get set to take over. Still in the first half, but this offense has struggled. Haven't really been able to get anything going, not only in the points category, but in the yards category. We'll see if they can do better here on this drive. Tua and the Dolphins now with a 1st and 10 at their own 19-yard line. He'll look to Mostert to start things out. And he'll get this up to the 30-yard line. A gain of 11 to kick off the drive, and it's a quick first down. Now you're down early. How do you get back in the game, maybe establish the run? I think they're trying to do that.
Now, I'm with you on that one, and what I like about the message is that there's no panic from the head coach. He's already told his offensive coordinator, let's run the football, let's get things settled down a little bit and find our way back into this game.
Gets it to Hill. It's a jet sweep. Oh, and this one may need to go back to the drawing board. He's going to be swallowed up right away. And that tackle by Trayvon Walker. Nice play. He blows that up behind the line of scrimmage.
Well, as a wideout, when you take that handoff and you're coming around the edge, You're expecting to see nothing but empty space in front of you. But if not...
Well, things can go south in a hurry, and that's exactly what we saw on that play with a loss. Got a man. It's Barrios complete. And he'll go out near midfield at the 49. Umpire threw the flag, usually always indicates holding, and that's what we've got.
And you know, depending on their positioning, where you are on the field, the umpires get different responsibilities, but always, always making sure no one's holding.
And now here's a deep shot that's complete. And they work this well upfield across the 45. A gain of 28 yards there and give them a first down.
You can almost hear the sigh of relief coming from their sideline and from their point on the field, because this has been a tough start for them thus far. A much-needed first down there. They needed something good to happen. Plays like that will continue to help them dig out of this hole.
Tua now on first down. Ooh, with a juke. He'll be taken down at the 48 for a pickup of 2 yards.
And that's a good job there by the corner. And we do talk about this a lot, that a lot of corners see their job as simply covering receivers. Tackling isn't everyone's thing. But in this case, he came up quickly and made a nice, sure tackle.
Second down, here's Mostert again. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. They give those 2 yards right back, and now they're looking at a 3rd and 10.
We think, Brandon, I like the intensity this defense is showing right here in these first few drives. They're not just holding the line because they're doing their job, but they're doing more than that, aren't they? They're getting a nice push into the offensive backfield.
And a great example right there for the loss on the tackle. Tagovailoa working out of the gun. And this is going to be incomplete.
And what did we talk with them about prior to the game? Their ability to move the chains, pick up first downs. So far, 0 for 3 on 3rd down. If that continues, they'll have little chance of winning this one.
Jake Bailey on now to punt here on 4th down. His first punt, 48 yards. This one looks equally as good. And there's a work of art right there. Out of bounds at the 2-yard line. 14-0 the score. This is the NFL on EA Sports. Second quarter now from Jacksonville, and it's the Jags with the football as they get set to start their drive with a 1st and 10. Jaguars come to the line to start their next drive. It's been a good first half so far. They're up 14-0. Points here, that could really put them in command before intermission.
Yeah, and it's all well and good what they're seeing and how they're feeling right now. But this is the NFL. How many times have we watched 14-0 leads evaporate and quickly? So how have we seen them combat it? Continue to run your offense, but don't back off at all. Don't start looking at the clock. Don't start thinking about, hey, just take care of the football. Keep attacking. Usually the best way to maintain control.
On second down, ETN once more. And they'll bring him down right around the 13. A gain of 5, good enough for the first down.
But, partner, if the defense isn't going to adjust and they keep giving them those 5, 6, 7-yard runs over and over, they're likely to run it the whole way to the end zone. They'll be more than happy to take the yardage available and save some of their other plays in the playbook for another time.
In motion right is Davis. Here's a fake on the jet sweep, and instead a give up the middle. And he's taken down, but not before he gets this across the 25-yard line. A 14-yard gain there as they look to improve this 14-point lead.
I'm not sure how much more evidence they need, partner, than to understand that if they don't start to slow him down, it's going to be a long afternoon here at the stadium, because he is just shredding them at this point. And let's face it, coming into the game, they knew he would be the focal point of their attack. This is going to take an 11-man unit on the defensive side to start making plays.
89 yards on the ground for him now on 9 carries. They've done a pretty good job containing him up until this drive, and until that run, there was no containing him at all.
Yeah, you're right about that. He finally popped free. But we didn't have to be in their practice sessions. We didn't have to be in their meeting rooms. They planned for a run like that to happen, maybe a couple of them. But what did they tell their guys all week? You know what they said. Move on to the next play. That one just happened. Let it go.
And they will only muster a yard here to the 38.
This drive is pretty clear. Almost feels like old school fundamentals, doesn't it? Want to impose their will on the defense. What's that, 5 straight runs?
Yeah, 5 straight carries to start this drive. And like you said, the way it's working, they may just stick with it. 38-yard line, 2nd and 9. And now they'll throw it with Lawrence. The Dolphins get there this time, and they bring him down. Jalen Phillips, the former first-rounder, getting in there for the sack. I think this defense, Charles, realizing the deficit they're facing, they're going to have to step up and make more plays like we just saw there.
Yeah, and those are the type of plays that can focus a defense because, as we know, they've had their trouble so far in this one. But they just proved to themselves that they can get to him, and I expect them to continue to bring that type of pressure in order to try and turn around their fortunes.
Meanwhile, on 3rd down, they take a shot at the end zone, but it's incomplete.
Well, he bounced up after taking a sack and took a shot downfield. I think a lot of us thought maybe he'd run draw in that situation. Instead, tried to get it all back in one play.
Yeah, 3rd and long, thought he needed the deep pass, couldn't connect it.
Maybe he was hoping for a penalty downfield to give him the yardage they needed.
This one angles out of bounds at a good spot in the coffin corner. And they're going to mark this out of the 5-yard line. The Dolphins offense now heads back on the field. And they're in a bind early here, down 14-0. Are you worried at this stage or still too early?
You're worried. You're just trying not to transmit it to the rest of your team. You want to make sure that they stay positive. But at the same time, you're wondering, how are we going to move the football? What do we have on this play sheet that can work? Get back to basics is usually your answer, and make sure you find the guy who can move the ball fastest for you if you just get it in his hands.
Yeah, still 2nd quarter. You get points on the board here. I think you're feeling okay. The pass there over the middle to start things out. So 5 yards here, 5 on the play, and it's 2nd down. That's a staple of this offense. Drag route to the tight end.
Yeah, he was unable to use his size to break off much more yardage after the catch, but still an effective gain nonetheless.
2nd and 5. A run with Mostert up the middle. And he'll be about a full yard shy of the 20 at the 19-yard line. That one, a 1st down pickup of 8.
I'm okay with the call there. In fact, I actually like it. I know they're down a couple of scores, but the running game worked in that situation. I would continue to go in that direction.
Setting to throw on 1st down is Tua. Short throw to Smith. And that's good for a pickup of 10 yards. And they'll be left with a 2nd and about a foot. Now, that tight end position, it just seems to continue to evolve every year in the NFL.
Yeah, you're getting really terrific athletes. A lot of them maybe were wide receivers at one point. They continue to give you speed, great hands, and big bodies, which make them excellent targets for quarterbacks.
On 2nd down, Mostert. And they'll take him down at the 31-yard line. 2 yards, good enough for a 1st.
Yeah, they really needed to get something going, didn't they? They had punted on the last 2 possessions. The running game starting to come to the front for them, providing a nice pickup there to keep this drive going.
This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. Tua sets up to pass it. They'll get this into the hands of Mostert. And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. The Dolphin passing game rolling here. They've got another 1st down.
Well, these guys have definitely been outplayed in the first half, but I like their countenance. I like the way that they haven't panicked out there, the way they're carrying themselves. They're starting to move the ball, and what you have to do, maintain your poise and start to put together some drives.
On 1st and 10, it's Mostert. And he's going to take this across midfield into Jacksonville territory. 5 yards is the tally on 1st down. That brings up 2nd and 5.
That's a really nice, tough run inside, and they gained 5 yards on it. And to be frank about it, Most offenses don't expect to get 5 yards on a play call like that. So when they do, they go back to their huddle with a little pep in their steps. They're starting to think that they're starting to dominate the line of scrimmage.
Still a couple yards short of the first as the 3-yard gain brings up a third down.
I do know from experience that when you slow down someone's running game, you're now doing the dictating on defense. And guess what? Now you're getting ready to tee off on their quarterback because they have to throw it all the time. But you still have to be alert for the draws and other plays of that nature to make sure you don't get hurt.
On play action, here's Tua. And it looked like he got the feet down, did he? Yes, it's a catch. That goes for a gain of 31.
So often when we're watching a football game, we see one with a lot of ebbs and flows, and this one is no different. And sometimes you just need a big play to wake you up a bit. And they get one right there. That shot of caffeine this offense was looking for.
So how about this for field position after the big play? Inside the 15 now as they come up on 1st and 10. Now Tua on the bootleg here. And he's brought down. This gain not quite as good as the last, but still over 40 yards between the two.
How about the way they're moving the ball down the field? They had a big play a moment ago, followed it up with another nice one here, and before you know it, they're already looking at 1st and goal.
1st and goal, and they got to be thinking a chance to get right back into this football game. Mostert is into the end zone. Touchdown, Miami.
Well, he'd been the workhorse on this drive, and it would have been unfair to bring someone else in to finish the job. So they go back to him again, and he delivers with a touchdown run.
Jason Sanders now for the extra point. And that one makes it 14-7. A 10-play drive that time. And it was capped off by a touchdown run from Raheem Mostert. Now after the touchdown to kick it away is Sam. And he won't quite make it to the 25. Here comes the Jaguars offense as they get set here. As we eke closer and closer to intermission, Charles, remember last time out they punted. They would love to get points here, especially if this is going to be their final possession of the first half.
Yeah, and this is what close games feel like because the pressure is on both sides, but sometimes the pressure is a little bit higher on the team with the slight edge because they're trying to hold on to that, trying to increase it. Let's see how this one continues.
Now ETN to start the drive. And he'll be brought down on the 30-yard line after a gain of 6. Now, hang on here a second. Looks like a Jaguar in some obvious discomfort from that last play. Well, the medical staff is going to come out here and take a look, and we will take a short break. Now, the ball on the 30. Here's 2nd and 4. Here's Lawrence to throw. That's caught by his tight end, Evan Ingram. First time these two have hooked up this afternoon, and it's a first down.
That was a route run not just with dexterity, but with intelligence. Found the hole in the zone, made sure the quarterback saw him, and was able to make the sure catch and flip the down marker back to 1.
We've hit the 2-minute mark of the second quarter, 14-7. Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10. Lawrence. They'll try and set up the screen to ETN. And they'll get him down after a pickup of 8, 2nd and 2.
And good yardage there on first down because sometimes all you need to do on the screen is get one key block. That might set your man free, and that was pretty good pursuit to the football defensively, or it could have gone for more.
2nd and a couple. Lawrence will throw. And completes it to Kirk over the middle. And he's got another first down as he's brought down at the Dolphins' 45-yard line. 11 yards there as they connect on the quick slant.
This has to go down as one of the simpler routes in the playbook, but oh so effective. Nice completion there. Keeps the sticks moving.
And to throw again is Lawrence. Over the middle, he's got his tight end Ingram. And he gets it inside the 35 and just shy of the 30. The Jaguars going to go ahead and use their first timeout as they get the stoppage with a little over 50 seconds to go in the first half.
A lot of tight ends just use their size and their strength, try to occupy some space and kind of body people away and catch the football. But not this guy. He's a refined route runner. Makes me wonder if he took some dance classes in his background with his footwork.
Throwing now, Lawrence on first down. Wide open receiver complete. And down inside the 15 he goes. Another big hitter there. This one good for 18.
Now that was pretty. They executed that curl route versus zone coverage, and that changes things a little bit because against man, it's often a tight curl, tight, sharply run route. Against zone, you're just looking for that open spot, that dead area, so you may curl it a little bit wider just to get to that place.
And usually a tight window. He fired a bullet in there for the completion. Throwing on first down, but this one winds up to be incomplete.
We know it's not an easy job to go out and catch passes when people are trying to tackle you and knock the ball away, but the bottom line is that's a pass he's got to have and a pass he should have caught.
Here's 2nd and 10. Now Lawrence. And he's left with no option here but to throw it away.
And here you're down in the red zone. You need to be smart, not force anything. So that's a wise decision to just get rid of the football.
This offense was on the move. Now 2 straight incompletions have them looking at 3rd and 10. Now Lawrence to throw. And that one too wide and incomplete. The Dolphins do the job defensively there, and now it brings up 4th.
And I feel like my man, Old Mo, momentum might be changing jerseys right now. How about what they just got done? They scored a touchdown their last drive. Now here's a 3 and out. Maybe momentum's getting ready to creep to the other sideline.
Patterson's kick is good, and they will move up by 10 now, 17-7. Still a little bit of time left here in the second quarter, but they do get 3 before the half and expand that lead.
And they have to be happy about that. And we haven't met a team yet that doesn't put an emphasis on trying to get points on the board in the last 2 minutes of a half. They'll be real excited to have those up on the board.
So not much time to speak of remaining in this first half as the kick's away. And he brings us out past the 20 to the 24. The Dolphins at the line ready for their next drive. And with 8 seconds on the clock, really not a lot of time to try to put anything together. They'll indeed try to run it out as they start on the ground. And this will leave them a yard short. Nice pickup of 9 yards on first down.
Come on, let's go. Let's dominate this.
Tua, a final shot before half. And he floats one there, incomplete. So we hit the halftime break here in Jacksonville with the Jags on top. As we send you a couple hours south of here to Orlando, that's where we check in with a coach and our EA Sports halftime report.
All right, Brandon, thanks very much. Welcome, everyone, to our brand new studios here in downtown Orlando in the EA Sports halftime report. The Jags were treated to a strong first half from their franchise quarterback, Trevor Lawrence. He's got a touchdown pass on the ledger as his guys were able to build a double-digit lead.
All right, Coach, thank you, and we welcome everyone back for quarter number 3.
It's showtime, baby. Me and you, baby. Me and you.
A 10-point game, 17-7 the score as we get back to it on EA Sports. And he takes this near the 25, just a little pass there, call it the 26. The Jaguars ready to get going to start quarter number 3. And they've got the lead, CD. What do you expect from them in this second half?
Well, I like what they were able to do on the ground in the first half because they had a lot of success running the ball, and I certainly think we'll see more of that. But I'd keep an eye on that defense, and I think their coaches up in the box will do the exact same thing. If they start to see 1 or 2 guys start to creep towards the line of scrimmage, that'll be licensed to take some shots downfield.
On 1st and 10, it's Lawrence. Throws a quick hitter on the slant. That's complete. And they work this well upfield across the 45. Fresh out of the locker room, they hit him with a gain of over 20.
That's another beautiful throw right there. Gets it to his man right in stride. And I think that throw kind of exemplifies what we've seen from this offense throughout this game. They've been in rhythm. They've been sharp. They've been on it. And they pick up another first down there.
A big hitter to start the drive has him up near midfield here for 1st and 10. Here's Lawrence. Completes it to Evan Ingram. And he is out of bounds, but not before he's inside the 30. Another first down there as this one goes for 25.
And he's the epitome of what we call the move tight end, a guy that you can line up anywhere, in the slot, out wide, in tight, doesn't really matter because he has such great skills. You want to utilize him in all aspects of your passing offense.
And there he was in the slot for the catch. And he's tackled a yard short of the marker. Good gain of 9 on first down.
Yeah, another good run there. He's been such a big part of their success here this afternoon. And that last carry, it puts him over 100 yards now for the day.
Second down and a little more than a yard here. Another tote for Etienne. And he gets it inside the 10 to the 9. 115 yards now for Etienne, and he's got a first down.
They're making it look easy out there. Another first down. So far on this drive, let me do this little bit of math here. 4 plays, 3 first downs.
That's a pretty good recipe for success. Looking to throw, Lawrence to the goal line, but it's incomplete.
After all the preparation, all the practice, a play like that will absolutely break your heart. They had everything they wanted, just unable to complete it. In the end zone, a big-time drop.
Another shot from the 9 on 2nd and goal. Straight ahead, Etienne. And he will get this into the end zone for a Jaguar touchdown. Travis Etienne, his 2nd touchdown of the afternoon. And the Jaguars take the opening kickoff of the 3rd quarter and drive right down the field to extend their lead. Extra point try now for Patterson. And that'll make this a 3-score game as the lead moves to 17. A drive that time of 6 plays. And it was capped off by a Travis Etienne touchdown run. after the touchdown. Cook now to kick this one away. And he'll be tackled just shy of the 25. So here are the Dolphins now. They get ready for their first possession of the second half. Tagovailoa and the Dolphins come up 1st and 10 at their own 24. On the ground, it's Mostert to start the drive. And he's able to plow forward up to about the 29, just shy of the 30. He was brought down by Foyesade Oluokun.
That was a really nice job by them picking up the run blitz and detecting it and blocking it and turning it into a nice run. And a lot of times you think if you blitz a running play, you're going to smother it. But a lot of the blitzers, they come in a little bit high. They don't have great leverage, and they're easily blocked and turned to the side.
And Waddle going to have a Dolphins first down as he'll get this up to the 34-yard line. They get 5 out of that one, and it moves the chains. From the 34 now, here's 1st and 10. They fake the handoff. Now Tua completes it to the tight end Smythe. It'll be a gain of 5, and that'll make it 2nd down.
Nice play call, a little bit of play action right there. If you can get those linebackers to freeze for just a split second, that's usually all the room you need in order to get it to your tight end.
Ball on the 39. Here's 2nd and 5. Throwing now is Tagovailoa. And his throw's going to be incomplete.
And we just saw another example. These cornerbacks have played tight coverage all game long. Might start wanting to think about a few double, triple move routes to try and shake their guys free.
You're right, they have had no room to breathe. This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on 3rd down. Again, they will throw it with Tagovailoa. He'll let this go deep for Waddle. And he bats it away, and it falls down incomplete.
Boy, that ball's just hanging up there waiting to be intercepted. That looked doomed from the start, but they took the deep shot anyway, and fortunately, it winds up incomplete.
The Dolphins will send out the punter now as he's on here to punt it away. He's averaging just under 50 yards a punt as he gets this away. And looking up into the sun, he's able to make the fair catch inside the 20-yard line. A 40-yard punt, no return. And they will take over 1st and 10. Travis Etienne and the Jags offense set to take over again here. He's up over 100 yards, and he'll be looking to get in the end zone again.
Has a tremendous nose for it, doesn't he? The ability to pile up yardage and find the end zone, that's the combination you want in your runner.
That's a combination any coach wants, and we'll see if he can find that end zone once more. And they'll throw on 1st down with Lawrence. A short throw to Ingram, and he'll get this up past the 25 before he's out of bounds. So they'll get 8 out of that completion, and that'll bring up a 2nd down in just a couple.
It certainly feels like there are more stars at the tight end position than there were even 10 years ago. And I think it's become more of a glamour position because of the ways it can hurt a defense, and guys want to be involved. They can be in line, close to the line of scrimmage. They can split out like receivers. But hands, route running, speed, and some toughness to go across the middle, you put it all together, you got a heck of a tight end candidate.
That's the danger, Charles, of running plays like this for your wide receiver. They can hit big or they can be duds.
Yeah, you're exactly right about that, because if they're forced to try and go around defenders behind the line of scrimmage, sometimes you can give yardage in order to gain it. But in this case, they gave yardage and didn't get it back.
And I don't think he got there, no. He's short by maybe a foot, maybe. Call it 4th and inches.
Anytime you decide to use your quarterback as a runner, most of the time when you design a play, you're expected to break a little bit bigger than this one, because when you run him on short gains, your risk reward and him taking hits, I'm not sure that's the payoff they were looking for.
Here's Logan Cook now. as he'll kick it away for the second time. A big kick that time, 52 yards. And it'll be Dolphin football.
Miami set to take over. I kind of feel like they've reached a do-or-die point in this game, Charles. If they're going to try to pull off an impressive comeback, it has to start right here, right now.
Yeah, now they've got a final chance to get out of this situation, but they also understand they've got to move the ball and move it fast. In addition, they need to save as much time so they can get 2 more possessions.
And they'll come out with a 3 tight end look on the first play of the drive. Running the counter with Mostert. And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. The former Yellow Jacket Adam Gotsis, the one who got in there to make the play.
And now you have to wonder, partner, at what point in time do they forget the running game? It's been a struggle so far in this one. I would think they'd have to start throwing it a little bit more.
Now Tua.
Getting this out to the flat, Mostert.
And he'll be tackled at the 23 after a gain of 3.
I know it was a gain, but you have to sense probably a little bit of disappointment there because when it's out there in open space, I think they expect to get more out of a play, don't you?
Especially when you're getting it to your guy out of the backfield. You're expecting him to be able to create something, be a little more shifty.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Good open field tackling held it to an okay gain.
And they work this well upfield across the 45. And they're able to convert on third with a solid gain of 23.
And that's well executed there on third down. And I love the confidence that they had to let their tight end try and find some space in the middle of the field, right in their quarterback's line of vision. And QBs love to make that easy throw, and they hooked up there for a first down.
Here's Tagovailoa on 1st and 10. It's Hill, complete. And this will be good for a pickup of 9 to the 46.
Second down and a yard.
And again, it's Tagovailoa. He'll get it once more into the hands of Hill. And he's going to have another first down as the tackle's made at the Jaguars 19. That'll be marked as a 27-yard pickup.
It's taken a while for this offense to get going. A little creaky at the start, but they're oiled up now. A nice throw there, and they're really putting together a good drive.
They run out of the shotgun with Mostert.
And he'll go down here at the 12-yard line.
60 yards rushing for him now to this point.
Not too many offenses want to turn down long drives, but when you're down what they are, they've got to pay it off with some points.
This 2nd and 4.
Tua going to throw. All in all, no gain on the play, and it'll bring up 3rd.
He certainly did his best to find something on that run, but there just wasn't enough time to make it happen. Nice effort there, avoiding the sack and getting back to the line of scrimmage. That one certainly could have ended up worse.
The 8th play of the drive coming up. It's 3rd and 3. Looking to pass. Tua.
Work in the middle of the field, and he's got a man complete. And the Dolphins are going to have 1st and goal as they try to finish off this drive with 6 points.
But with the score where it is, you're not thinking field goals right now. You need touchdowns. So that was a much-needed conversion there on 3rd down.
First and goal, and they got to be thinking a chance to get right back into this football game. Going to the air, Tagovailoa.
That is caught by Waddle. Touchdown, Miami.
A 3-yard touchdown pass.
And the Dolphins are able to get a score back in the final stages of this 3rd quarter.
And he just did get those feet in there on the side of the end zone. Well done.
Probably the exact size foot necessary, because I think if he had another half size, that catch doesn't count. And he's able to get it in, and it counts for a touchdown.
Extra point up and good by Sanders. And the lead down to 10, 24-14. Now after the touchdown, ready to kick it away is Sanders. And he won't get this to the 20-yard line as he's down at the 19. The Jacksonville offense set to begin their next drive. This now a 10-point game, so things tightening a little bit after that last score. Lawrence's throw into the hands of Kirk. And he'll get this up to the 30-yard line. So both teams trade touchdowns, and the third as we're through 3 quarters of play. This is the National Football League on EA Sports. Back now in Jacksonville. So 1st and 10 now from the 30. It's Jaguar football here, and they'll look to extend their lead as we begin quarter number 4. Eluding the pressure right. And this turns into a nice gain with a slide at the end. Able to make something out of nothing there. 17 yards and a first down. Well, there you go. Save your best scramble of the day for a big-time situation in the 4th quarter, picking up the first.
You don't want to use it up early, right? You want to make sure you save it for that exact moment, that key time. And that's what he did, although you and I both know it wasn't planned that way. But what a nice job using his eyes, scanning the field, and realizing when it was time to exit the pocket and go.
Defensively, a solid response after giving up back-to-back first downs.
The goal of a wide receiver screen is get enough blockers in front to create a wall and let him pick his spot to run the football. How about the defense there, swarming to it and not allowing that to happen? Did not let him get downfield.
Here's Lawrence to throw. And he's got his big wide receiver complete. Give him 10 yards there as this offense is on a roll. This drive continues to plunge forward.
These guys are running offense like you drive. The pedal is down, stomp down. How about that? Back-to-back completions. They are rolling.
So much for being conservative and running that football. ETN up the middle. And he maneuvers up the middle for 3. And it's 2nd down.
Brandon, I've got to think this offensive line has got some smiles on its faces. And I know it sounds crazy, but they practiced for this back in training camp. They knew they'd be in situations where it'd be extra defenders in the box coming after them, trying to keep them from locking down a game. Right now, they want to show the world they're up to the challenge.
Now they'll try and set up the quarterback draw here. He'll get 2 on the keeper, but it becomes now a 3rd down.
Well, praise has to go to the guys on the offensive line because they've had a very nice, productive day running the football. How about that poor defensive line? They've been knocked around the entire game, and while they slowed them down on that run, can they continue to do so? Because they haven't had much success throughout this ball game.
On play action, Lawrence. Able to find the open man. That's complete. And he's got another first down as he's brought down at the Dolphins' 13-yard line. A pickup of 24 on the 3rd down conversion.
And this has been a nice answer to the touchdown drive against them a few minutes ago because they've come out and reestablished the tempo. A nice throw there, and they're putting together a very strong drive as a response.
From the 13 now, they work on 1st and 10. A handoff for ETN. And he'll be taken down here at about the 11. 2 yards on the pickup there. It'll be 2nd and 8.
Well, that's not a run that's going to make any of the highlight tapes, but they've been moving it well all game on the ground. This is another one that keeps them moving forward.
Here's a 2nd and 8. Lawrence. Toward the end zone, but that's going to wind up incomplete.
Tight end has become a bigger and bigger part of the passing game in the NFL, but if you drop the football, that position can get swapped out with a wide receiver in that spot, a running back in that spot. There are other ways they can go. Not going to catch the ball.
And that's not just his first drop, his second drop of the game.
On 3rd down, Lawrence.
Now the pressure gets there, and he goes down just inside the 20 at the 19. A well-designed corner blitz that gets him for a loss of 8 yards.
Well, we've seen how this quarterback can beat you with his legs. Saw it earlier on this drive, as a matter of fact. But that time, they had him covered.
They really gave him no place to escape because oftentimes they're able to find a crack, a sliver, anything that can get them upfield. On that occasion, nothing open at all, and they swarmed him.
Patterson's kick is good.
And that will extend their lead even further.
So that maybe not a knockout blow, but I suppose certainly every little bit helps when you're trying to salt one away in the 4th.
Well, the possibility of being beaten by 2 late touchdowns or at least sent to overtime does exist, but time, definitely a big factor at this stage of the game, is in their favor.
Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes.
And his guys will get the football right at the 20-yard line. Miami's offense set and ready to go.
And they'll just simply be looking to build off the confidence of the last time out where they scored a touchdown.
And confidence is powerful, isn't it? When you've scored once, you feel like you can go back out there and get it done again. Doesn't matter what the defense throws at them. They feel like they're in a groove right now, and they want to get out there and show it.
Yeah, hoping to stay in that groove here this go-around.
They'll start on the ground with Mostert.
And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage.
They'll lose a yard there, and it's 2nd and 11.
Well, that's pretty symptomatic about how things have gone here. That play was just shut down right from the start.
And not going to give them a lot of confidence to help turn things around. After the loss to start out, here's 2nd and 11. Here's Tagovailoa to throw. Short throw to Smith. A good gain of 9 before he's brought down at the 28.
Brandon, perfect defense in this situation would have meant that there was an incompletion. They would have picked it off. Okay, so they gave up the completion. But I really enjoyed watching how the defense stayed in sync, stayed in great communication. And as he dragged across each zone, you see him pointing, communicating. There he is, and they passed him off to each defender. Ended up making a nice play, even though it was complete.
And now Mostert is going to be stopped up short. He did not get there.
The loss of a yard, and it brings up 4th.
Sometimes you just sit back and marvel at what he can do defensively. Speed, strength, quickness, he's the whole package. And that package just wrapped up the runner for a loss.
All right, they're going to try and keep hope alive here on 4th down. They're going for it. They're going for it. Here's Tua with it.
He's got his target. That's complete.
And he's going to be out of bounds right at midfield. The time to pull out the stops is now, and they convert there on 4th down. 4th down, trailing in the 4th quarter. They felt compelled to go for it, and they got it.
Well, I'd look down at my play sheet, and what I would find, plays that have been successful throughout the game that have worked at the distance you need, and that's exactly what they got done.
From midfield, here's Tua. And this one is going to be off the mark, too far out in front.
He shook his head right when he released that throw. He knew it was going to be a little off target.
Yeah, the excitement got him on that one. Wasn't able to control the fact the receiver was open, and it would have been an easy throw.
So now 2nd and 10 after the incompletion on first down. Tua sets up to pass it. Throw left side complete. That's Hill. 5 yards. Now it's 3rd and 5. Tua setting up shop to throw again. Got a man. It's Barrios complete. And he is going to have the Dolphins first down by about a yard as they find a way to convert there on 3rd down and 5. And in a 2-score game, obviously, every play, every 3rd down, like we saw there, magnified. Big pickup.
It was a huge pickup. What they really want, though, is to not even get to 3rd down. They've got to maximize time and conserve as much as possible.
Now a dump off here complete. He'll be hit down at the 33, 5 yards on the play.
Now that's the type of play that gives you a chance to win. Nothing forced downfield where you don't have a guy open. Swing it out to the back, on maybe even check it down, whatever you want to call it. Gain of 5. You're just trying to get 4 on first down. They're ahead of the chains now.
Tagovailoa to throw on 2nd down here. Short throw to Smith. A 5-yard pass on the heels of a 5-yard run. Good enough for the first. But correct me if I'm wrong. You're down 2 scores. I don't think you need to rush just yet, but you can't take your time either.
Yeah, even if you don't want to commit to full 2-minute offense, you have to up the tempo, up the urgency. Maybe you're starting to call 2 plays in a huddle each time you snap the ball.
Tua to throw again. He's going to drop this underneath to Mostert. Now the result here, a pickup of 8. Leaves him with 2 to go on 2nd down.
Just about every quarterback is trained to really look downfield first before you come back and make a nice, safe throw. And in this case, that's exactly what he did. Found his running back, let him create some space, and it turned out to be a nice play for the offense.
On 2nd down, Tua.
Well, if you're going to give out a little applause on that play, it has to go to the defense. More good work by them. They've taken away the passing lanes all game long, and you can see the frustration that it's causing because he just about threw that one into the first row.
Well, this crowd into it now. 3rd and 2.
Now Tua on the bootleg here. And he will not be able to hang on through the contact. It's incomplete. The coverage strong, and now it's 4th down.
From a defensive perspective, they had exactly what you want anytime they want to throw the football. There was pressure on the quarterback. They were getting after him, and they tightened down on the receivers and forced the incompletion.
4th down, 4th quarter. Here's Tua. Pass taken in by his big tight end. And he'll be brought down very close to the spot he needed. And it's going to wind up being enough. Maybe by less than a football, but a conversion nonetheless on 4th and 3. 2 minutes left to play in this football game here on EA Sports. So the Dolphins have it as we welcome you back in. They've got a 1st and 10 as they search for a late score. All 3 timeouts remain, but they've got to score quick. It's 1st and 10. Throwing Tua.
Touchdown, Dolphins.
Tyreek Hill on the touchdown pass from Tua. And the Dolphins have made it a 1-score game again here in the 4th.
I'm not sure win-win is the proper term here, but it certainly felt like it. They got the touchdown they needed, but if I'm on the defensive side of the ball, okay, you got the touchdown, but it sure took you a long time.
Yeah, because offensively there, you're probably hoping for a 1 to 5 play drive. That one ate up a little more time than they were hoping.
You're exactly right, and if you have that 1 to 5 play drive, you actually build up momentum and even more hope. When they had to slog their way downfield, they got the touchdown, but it's almost like, yeah, you know,
doesn't feel right.
Exactly.
Now after the touchdown, ready to kick it away is Sanders.
And a nice return sets him up pretty good here right at the 30-yard line. Out comes the Jaguar offense now as they get set to take over. Well, they can smell victory, partner. They can see it on the horizon, but certainly we're not done yet here. Defense still has 3 timeouts, and obviously this is a very slim lead they're holding on to.
And let's face it, the easiest way to get this done, challenge your ground game. Challenge your offensive line, your tight ends, your receivers, anyone who's going to lay down a block. Don't let there be penetration because they're going to stack the line of scrimmage and maybe bring extra people to the ball. If you can do that, make them burn their timeouts, run out the clock, life will be good. But if you really want to gamble a little bit, a quick play action, quick throw, might be able to get it done. Just make sure it's not incomplete and stop the clock.
Ball on the 35. Here comes 2nd and 5. He's going to get it again. Just looking to get forward and protect the ball. Yeah, he will go out right near the 35-yard line.
Well, that's a carry they have to be satisfied with. And throughout this game, they've been satisfied with what he's given them. Whenever they've needed a big run, a first down, he's the guy they've turned to. And it doesn't matter what the defense thinks. They feel like they've got the confidence to keep handing it to him and keep picking up good yardage.
So that changes things a bit. Here's a 1st and 10 all the way down at the 35. ETN once more. And I think this defense knew what was coming as he is smothered behind the line. Second and 12, and you'd have to assume another all-out effort to stop the run is coming. Now a fake on the jet sweep, and they'll instead run up the middle. Now the Dolphins will use the last of their timeouts as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next. The 25-yard line is what they need here. This is 3rd down. Here's Lawrence. They'll try and set up the screen to ETN. And he will have a Jaguars first down, and that ought to be the one that seals the victory.
Let's give a little credit there. The offensive play caller sensed that the screen pass was available. Whenever you're getting a lot of heavy pressure towards your quarterback, that's when you're thinking about running the screen and using that pressure against the defense. And it worked very well there for a first down.
And they'll take a knee as the clock ticks down toward 50 seconds to go. Lawrence to a knee, and that will write a finish to this one. What a ball game this was. What an atmosphere this was. And the home team getting the late touchdown, getting the victory, and now everybody in this building can file away with smiles on their faces.
And what do real estate people tell us all the time? It's location, location, location. So being at home, that can be a big deal because remember, they were down to their final chance to retake the lead. That home field advantage, I think it helped fuel all of what happened for them down the stretch. A huge win.
So that's a wrap for Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Gaudin. And this has been a presentation of the NFL on EA Sports. For more, check us out at easports.com. The Jaguars are winners here as we say so long.